Page 25, Waltz from Sleeping Beauty by Tchaikowsky. At the top of the page, they are introducing what they call an accent mark. Other methods books call this an accent mark also. You call it what you want. I call it a tenuto mark because that's what I was taught. Look at the left hand right at the beginning. You see that horizontal line right above the note? Okay, we call that a tenuto mark. They call it an accent mark. Some people teach it as an accent mark. I was not taught that, but okay, I can understand it, sort of. They're saying they can put it above the notes of the melody so you know to bring out which note is the melody. Okay, so you can bring them out, play them a little louder. See, an accent technically has to do with the attack of the note, the beginning of the note. So if you were to have a wind player or a string player, a violin player like that, do a real accent, they would start the note with a little more emphasis and then immediately come back down. So the rest of the note is just a normal note. So the accent part really only has to do at the beginning of boom, and it comes right back down. Well, on piano we can't do that. All we can do is push the key down. And if we want to accent it, we push the key down a little harder or a little faster. But after it's down, we can't bring the volume down to a regular note. The piano takes over once it starts. So to say these are accents, I got a little problem with that. You know, what they want to do is bring out the melody is all they're after. Now to me, a tenuto mark, which is what this is, means hold it out as long as possible. And in some cases, just a hair longer. In other words, don't cut the note short. It's an important note. Now I've seen this in some music where they actually put these things over the melody notes to tell you where they are. Unnecessary. You can figure out where they are by studying the music. And to say, well, we do it in this piece so you know where the melody notes are, doesn't work for me, because when the right hand gets the melody, they're not there anymore. So if you're going to point out where the melody is, why don't you do it through the whole piece? Why are you just doing it in the left hand, is what I'm saying. Because when you get down to the third line and beyond, the melody's in the right hand. But you don't see those marks over those. And so I still have a problem with calling these accent marks. The point is, hold them out full value and bring out the melody. Okay? That's my spew on that. And I know some people won't agree with me on that, and I really don't care. You don't have to agree. That's the way I was taught, and that's the way I taught my students. On this, the melody's in the left hand at first. Now, keep in mind, this is in the key of B flat major. B flat major has two flats. You can see the flats at the beginning of each line. It's a B flat and an E flat. So all the B's are flatted, all the E's are flatted, right? Well, the very first note is a B flat. And then put your third finger on it, and that's melody. So just a little bit at the beginning, it's here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's the melody, and then the right hand takes it over on the third line. Okay, or whatever it is. So just bring out the melody. Keep the other stuff under it. So the dynamic given here at the beginning, it's soft. This is a gentle melody. The melody is soft, which means the accompaniment has to be really soft. All right. So decide how loud you want the melody to be, what is soft. And whatever that is, you find a way to keep the accompaniment under that. A little bit about the right hand, and then I'll come back. In the second line and the third measure, they have a reminder there to play an A natural. Okay, so you got an E flat and A natural. Normally when they put a reminder like this, they'll put it in parentheses. The natural sign is unnecessary, and they're telling you, we're just reminding you. All right, well, they don't have to remind you. You should know. In the measure before this, there's an A flat, an F A flat. Well, once you cross the bar line, the flat doesn't count anymore, so the A has to be natural. So it's nice of them to do the reminder, but it's unnecessary. You should know it's an A natural. In the third line, they have another reminder down there to remind you that it's an E flat. Well, in the measure before, we had an E natural. But when you cross the bar line, blah, 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 you've heard it before. And since there's an E flat in the key signature, all E's should be flatted. So it should be a flat anyway. They don't need the flat sign there is what I'm saying. It's just a nicety they're doing for you. So don't count on those being there. But that's what it's there for. Now at the end, the last two measures, you're starting out, the melody is back in the left hand here. Okay, and then the right hand has those two quarter notes. And now they want the left hand to cross over the right and play that last B flat. Make sure you lift up the right hand when you do it, but leave the hand there on the keys. Just lift up the F. Alright, so it's... Now you have to do it kind of quickly because the B, that's a dotted half note, it gets 3 counts. So you don't have a lot of time to get up there. Right? I think they've made it unnecessarily difficult because an easier way to play this would simply forget the crossover and play the B flat normal and leave your hand there. And then in the right hand, play the D with your thumb, F with the second finger, and the B flat, the last note, with the fifth finger in the right hand. So it's that. Just lift up the left hand when you play it. My opinion, that's much easier. But if you want to do the crossover, you go right ahead. Have a ball. Since it is in here, when we play it together, I'll try and do the crossover. Right? But if I were playing it, just me, I would not finger it that way. I would not cross over. In the third line, in the first measure, in the right hand, they want your little finger on that F. Because you need it there to play these other notes coming up. Right? Let me talk you through that third line. In the right hand, you're starting out with a little finger on the F, fourth finger on the E natural for the next note, then third finger on the E flat, right? Now, at this point, you can leave your hand in this position. You have basically changed it to here. So your little finger's not on F anymore, it's here. So I would recommend you do that. Just go ahead and use the thumb on the C and just stay there. Because you need the little finger on the G in the next line. Watch the rhythm. Make sure you're holding the half notes down a full 2 counts and only 2 counts. Look at the second line. We have the left hand here, and then the right hand has half notes. So as the left hand plays the C, keep the right hand down, and then when the left hand plays the D in the next measure, lift the right hand up. Play the right hand again, keep it down while the left hand plays the B, and then lift it up when the left hand plays the C. Okay. You get the same thing in the bottom line, sort of reversed, where the right hand is playing the first note, then the left hand gets the half note, keep it down while the right hand plays the F, lift it up when the right hand plays the E flat. So be careful lifting these notes up at the right time. Check yourself on them. Now in the last measure, when you cross over, if you're going to cross over, they don't tell you which finger to use. It doesn't matter. I typically, because the third finger is the longest, I might use that one. Sometimes I use the index finger. So it's whichever one you use, the middle finger or the index finger, whatever. You're not going to use don't use the thumb. And there's no point in using the little finger, and the ring finger is awkward. So it's either the index finger or the middle finger for the last note. You can decide what you want to do. This is in 3/4 time, so I'll give us 3 counts. Let's play it together slowly. So the left hand starts out here. And the right hand starts out here. Okay, okay. One, ready, go. One, two, three.